This is the fastest team that you can use in Jungle Cup and still get some positive results for your battles in Go Battle League. So today, trainers, we're gonna dive together into Jungle Cup with a very quick team having Vigoroth up in front and a classy but effective backline on Shadow mode at the back. So now over here we're just gonna keep going at it with our bot slams over Whimsicott, but to be fair, since now we get that shield advantage, sometimes you need to let your Vigoroth go down. Some other times, if you feel like you can definitely win that lead advantage by spending only one shield, feel free to do so, and Vigoroth will guarantee you a very easy win because the backline team is gonna be so much dependent on the alignment, which means that even up against these Whiskas, we can easily farm it down with Razor Leaves, and right after they realize they stand no chance at all up against our Victory Bell. My wild guess is that they had a lantern, so they absolutely get out of here with the top left button. Into the next battle now with Vigoroth on the lead, and here they're gonna use their bot slam on my shield. You know what, this is absolutely fine. Now we're just gonna respond back at them with another bot slam, but they managed to catch on the Altaria. Of course, this is not that bad overall because we can still push them to their limits with a simple Dragon Claw, and to be fair, Shadow Charizard here can easily go down. Charizard is a very classy Pokemon but pretty effective on the offensive side, but still we're not gonna sit in action that much. Later on, more of it will come into your screens. So let's see how this is gonna go because we managed to farm down with our Vigoroth, and now we can get our hands on those bot slams. Even when resisted in combination with the counters, they can do so much work to the Steelix, but to be fair, all we need to do here is to effectively farm down with our Razor Leaves, but my opponent is gonna have the upper hand with that Psychic Fangs. Down we go eventually, so now we need only one counter to get the victory, but my opponent is already there because they banked that energy of that early switch that they did back on the mirror. Into the next battle now with a Talonflame, the KFC bird up in front, and we're just gonna charge up to the Rock Slide, then use our Body Slam because most of those Talonflames are gonna fall for that very easy bait, and in the process we can still reach to another Rock Slide to Incinerate later. So I'm saying to Incinerate later because in the meantime we're gonna do some counters, so that's why I'm trying to use my moves when they are about to get to their own charge attack. So here Fly is just gonna take us out, and to be fair, I'm just gonna reach my hands on the Dragon Claw here before they get to the extra Incinerate, and down they go. At this point they have a Vigoroth and a Lantern at the back, which means that my Victory Bell over here might actually be the optimal Pokemon for me to finish them down. One Leaf Blade to finish off Vigoroth, and of course right after a weird lag here, we're just gonna farm down in the process with our Razor Leaves, and I guess they just backed out from this battle. Into the next one now with a Talonflame once again, but this is a different scenario because you're gonna see right here what I mean. This time I get my hands on the bot slam, but my opponent doesn't fall for the bait. This is still not the end of the world or anything. You can always keep pushing by sacrificing one shield in the meantime, while your bot slams still are gonna be pretty clutch on that flying bird. So they're just gonna reach to that flame charge to take us out, but to be fair, we can easily farm down here before they reach to another Sky Attack with our Shadow Charizard. Now with a Lantern at the back, perhaps we do not have the best alignment ever, so all we need to do here is to reach to the Leaf Blade, get that shield out of play, and still try to do as much damage as possible. But my opponent decides to go for the Acid Spray to finish us off much easier, I guess, but Charizard now is just gonna farm down all the way, reach to a double Blast Burn, and this has to be it for this battle because one is imminent, the second right after. Let's pray together that this is the final one, and yes, we can get that pretty close victory with Charizard emerging like a blasting closer for this team. Into the next one now, with a mountain up in front, all we need to do here is to go for the rock slide, but I guess we can always bait for the body slam, so my opponent is gonna fall for that bait, and unlike the Talonflame matchup, here you can still go ahead and throw your body slams, while a rock slide at some point might actually hit them for super effective damage, while you can also survive the falling moves. So over here they managed to catch the rock slide on that Vigoroth of their own, which is a pretty good catch if you ask me, and I decided to spend a shield here because they definitely have a rock slide ready to go. So down they go in the process, and here is my chance to get now to the Sludge Bomb for the one shot up against this grass type Pokemon. Down goes their shield instead, which is not that bad overall, because if we manage to catch at least one move on our Vigoroth, perhaps we can have the upper hand towards the end game. So over here I will try to immediately switch out and catch the move, but my opponent knew much better. Now they're gonna throw another Weather Ball, this time to deal so much damage, and with Mountain remaining at the very end, I do not think we can do so much work on them. Perhaps if we could catch the move on our Vigoroth, things could have been much different here. We did a lot of mistakes, but also my opponent took advantage of those mistakes, and so well played to them, because they absolutely outplayed me in the end, with Mountain returning up against my Charizard. Into the next battle now, with the Lantern on the switch, able to farm down so easily with those Razor Leaves, and now let's see what they might be having now, because Abomasnow is coming in, and unfortunately for us, we do not have the time to get to that Sludge Bomb. So my opponent instead is just gonna take the move on that Abomasnow, knowing that Abomasnow is not gonna be that great overall, and now with a Mud Boy at the very end, I'm just gonna get my hands on that Body Slam. They have a Shadow Whiskas overall, and all I need to do here is to land at least one Body Slam to drop them severely low at some point in combination with my wing attacks and perhaps one Dragon Claw. So by having here the shield advantage, the Mud Boys are not gonna be any problem at all for my Charizard, and you're gonna see that later on this video as well. But for now, Whiskas is gonna get to the Scald, which we can easily block and still reach to our amazing Dragon Claw to finish them down. With only Abomasnow now remaining at the back, we managed to get a pretty soft victory for this one. Into the next one, Battle Trainers, and we're having Mountain up in front, switching out to Whiskas. Do not blink or you will miss it, and of course Victreebel here is gonna farm down with absolute ease. So those Razor Leaves are super good offensively, but the glassy stats that Victreebel is having is absolutely terrifying sometimes. Anyways, we managed to do absolutely exact damage that we need with that Leaf Blade to drop them at a point that one Body Slam can actually finish them off. So now Mountain is gonna get to the RLAs and one more right after, but we're gonna use our Charizard as a closer here, so instead I'm gonna keep those two shields for the very end game, still have a decent amount of HP remaining on my Vigoroth, and now with the Quagsire at the back, we're just gonna get to the Blast Burn to blast burn them down, and of course right after all we need to do is to reach to a couple of those Dragon Claws. But in the process I decide to farm down, which might be a mistake, but at the same time they still have the shield, able to survive here the Aqua Tail and still reach now to a charge attack. Doing so, we managed to get finally that last shield out of play, so that my Vigoroth now can easily destroy them down with that final Body Slam. This was a team effort from that very fast and glassy team that we have, and absolutely was worth it. Into the next battle now with a Shadow Tentacruel. All we need to do here is to stay in, spam those Body Slams to victory, because this is a Shadow Pokemon that is not that bulky overall. However, eventually they might be able to completely farm us down, and we definitely want to avoid this. Another Body Slam is imminent, they're getting super low, and before they reach to the charge attack here, we're gonna press our Body Slam for the final time, but instead they can easily farm down in return, so it all depends now on what might be at the very end, because I'm sacrificing here my Charizard, guessing that this might actually be a double Mud Boy team, but instead you're gonna see here that they have a different team for us, because Dunsparce is coming in, and of course we need to play accordingly here with our Razor Leaves and the Extreme Farm up against the Palo Sand. However, by having 0 shields, I guess that I need to throw, otherwise one Scorching Sands might actually do the trick. So able to get here to another Leaf Blade as we are farming up so much the energy from their Pokemon, and of course this is gonna be another huge victory for our Shadow Vic. Into the final one now, trainers, with that Steelix up in front, the counter damage can be kinda good for us here, but at the same time the Body Slams and the Rock Slides are not gonna connect for a lot of damage. So Steelix at this point is gonna reach to the Psychic Fangs, and I guess that we can easily go ahead and reach here to the Rock Slide up against the Altaria before switching out. Able to get the shield, which was something I was not expecting to. I was hoping that they caught the move, but instead that was a very good block, and now that we can shield in return the Sky Attack, we can absolutely wreak havoc on their defenses with that Dragon Claw to finish them down. I'm expecting that Steelix to return, but instead they have also a Lantern at the very end. This final battle is gonna be quite the masterpiece here, because now we're having the true power of Victory Bell, able to completely hold down those water types, and of course in the process we do not care that much about Vigoroth, so we're gonna let it go down, but to my surprise it survived. So here they can easily take out my Vigoroth, but in return Shadow Victory Bell will come into the battle, and in a very weird and ironic way it is just gonna destroy down my opponent. So that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Leave a like before you go, subscribe to the channel, and check any of these 2 videos that I have prepared for you. Till the next time, take care, trainers.